Welcome back and thanks for joining us. I'm Courtney.
I'm Kenneth.
And this is From Launch to Legacy, where we talk about everything it takes to start and run a small business. This series is a little bit different. We're on part 4 of a 5-part series. Today, we are going to talk about financial stress, healthy money mindset, and lifestyle inflation. So as always, there are free resources on our website, www.havensconsulting.com. They go along with every episode that we have. And there are also extras, different checklists and guides to help you guys through the business journey. Before we begin today's episode, a quick but important note. While we work with business owners every day and understand entrepreneurial stress firsthand, we are business consultants, not licensed mental health professionals. What we're sharing today comes from experience working with other business owners and general wellness strategies. It is educational, not medical or psychological advice. If you're really struggling, if stress or anxiety is overwhelming, or if you're having thoughts of self-harm, please don't wait. Call or text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, available 24/7, or reach out to a qualified mental health professional. There is a link to the Mental Health and Well-Being Guide for Entrepreneurs in the show notes. It has practical ways to protect your mental health, resources for mental health, and information on where and how to get help, as well as a list of organizations that help business owners for free. Your mental health is your most valuable business asset. Help is available and recovery is possible. Okay, well, let's just get into it. Financial stress and money mindset. So this is what happens when you finally start making money. You've been stressed out for so long when you first start, and it's finally coming in, and you're tempted to go on a crazy vacation or buy a new car or get a sleep number bed like we were tempted to do. But money isn't just about numbers, it's emotion and identity and survival. You know, you can't live without it. And if you're a small business owner, most of you are out there, this is all the income you have, so it has to work. So the pressure never really stops.
Right.
So the goal of today is to talk about why restraint in the beginning is one of the most important financial decisions you'll make, and how to manage money stress throughout the journey.
Yeah.
So I was going through and looking at stories, for each of these episodes and thinking of financial stress stories. I mean, there's too many, right? Next month, we will have been in business for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gone through everything that we've talked about.
Yes.
And plus a lot more we'll talk about in the future. And so what I don't have a story for right now, because I just want to tell you guys that you're not alone. Like, we didn't quit our jobs and start this company on basically faith and love and then just live happily ever after.
Right.
There's been a lot of hard times, like in the beginning, we shared a vehicle for 1.5 years, trying to get to client meetings and pick the kids up and go to the grocery store and all of that with just one car.
And that one worked half the time.
Yeah, that kept breaking down.
Yeah, and then we'd have to borrow a family member's car. We both had to be somewhere.
Yeah, have to have, my Nana drive me to an appointment.
Right.
And like, we put things on credit cards that we shouldn't have, but
we had no other choice.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. There's no judgment. We just are going to give you some advice on how to stay ahead of that, and if you're already there, to try to manage it.
Right. I mean, we deal with companies' financials. We've seen both sides of it, right? There's not, I don't know anybody that doesn't stress about money.
Yeah.
I mean, literally the unhoused You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not. They have none, so there's no stress about it. But it doesn't matter. I mean, billionaires worry about money because
Yeah.
they're having to manage money, and you always need more. I think Elon Musk presented at the end of the last Tesla. He wanted a $1 trillion payroll plan for him. He was asking for a compensation plan. So, I mean, trillion. That's a number that you physically cannot imagine.
Yeah, that's for sure. A little personal side note about me, I couldn't make any money until Delaney turned 19.
Mm-hmm.
So I just started getting a livable paycheck right before we threw caution to the wind.
Yeah.
And started this company. So I never really had money before, so I wasn't worried in the beginning. But as the company's grown and our profits have grown,
more money, more problems.
Absolutely. It's so crazy. The more money that we have, the more I worry about it.
Right. I worry more about money now than I did when
we had negative.
Yeah. When we had, $1,000 in the bank and no work coming in, but debt and bills, and I mean, it's stressful for sure.
Yes. Speaking of stressful, some of the common financial stressors for business owners is irregular income and cash flow.
That's probably the biggest one. That's what this episode's going to be a lot about, is uncertainty.
Yeah. Personal financial impact of business investments. Do I save this, or do I invest it in the company and hope that it works out?
Yeah. One thing that I see sometimes, and again, this is not legal advice, and I tell my clients that as well, but I see people doing jobs that have a high litigation liability, construction, you're working on someone's home, and there's sole proprietorship.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they've already extended, because I'm looking at their financials, they've extended themselves, they're pretty much all the way, they don't have any more resources. And it's like, if you break something, at a client's house, all of your personal assets, I mean, just not making a limited liability company or something like that to limit your liability. I mean, it's already enough risk to just that you might lose all of your investment in the company. But when everything else you have is up for grabs too, I mean, that's unnecessary.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're wondering if that is you can go back and listen to our episode on how to structure your business. Some other financial stressors are pressure to reinvest versus pay yourself, right? Yep. Comparing like either your friends or your old self's steady paychecks to unknowing amounts coming in the future.
Yep.
Tax planning and compliance, which we have talked about and we'll talk about again, and guilt about making money. That's something that you don't think about, but it's absolutely true. When you get a big client or a big, invoice back, and you can feel guilty because you've had no money for so long.
Right.
And then fear of losing what you've built.
Yeah. I mean, I remember we probably didn't have a job that was more than, we were doing small bookkeeping and tax jobs, for the first year or so, and probably didn't have a job more than $1,000 any given one job, And I remember that first $30,000 job, and I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
What do we do with
Yeah. And the financial stressors there, plus the stuff we talked about last episode with imposter syndrome and fear.
2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago,
yep.
Imposter syndrome and fear of failure. So, I mean, the struggle is real, right?
Yeah. I mean, the first time you hold a $30,000 check with your name or your company's name on it, and you go, what is happening? What am I doing? Where am I?
Yeah.
Where are the adults?
So if you are having trouble, it may not be that you're bad with money. It's you're living in a system that's unpredictable by design, and that's okay as long as you put some safeguards in place.
Right, because there's always going to be unpredictability in being a business owner. There's also always going to be stress, and there's always going to be financial issues. There's going to be financial stress. I mean, even if you've got, there's a real problem where you have more money than you know what to do with in a business, because money is, I think I've said this before, it's like a toddler. If you're not directing it towards something, it will get itself into trouble.
Yeah.
Money doesn't sit around. Money does something always, and if it's not being deliberately placed somewhere good, it will start going somewhere bad.
So the psychology of money in business. So most of you have heard of the scarcity mindset. It's on all the podcasts and everywhere, but it's the belief that resources are limited and that there's not enough to go around. This can be in more than just money, right? There's not enough clients, there's not enough time. And when you've been struggling financially, it can create lasting anxiety. Even after the money starts coming in, you still have that.
We have this thing where, because we grew up not economically great in our, my dad used to say we're not poor, we're broke.
Yeah.
But we brought in a lot of habits still that we catch ourselves, and it's like, I don't have to save twisty ties.
Yeah, I was going to say Ziploc bags.
Right. I don't have to save Ziploc bags. That's exactly what it was. Scarcity mindset, right? It was zero waste.
Yeah.
But that led to hoarding, it.
Yeah. It also can lead to feeling guilty about spending money on yourself, overworking because you're afraid the money will disappear, making panic decisions, and struggle to invest in necessary business expenses for growth. So the opposite of that's the abundance mindset. And that's the belief that resources and opportunities are plentiful and everyone can succeed. So those are the two things that I've heard of. When I started researching this, what I found was abundance anxiety. So I had not heard that.
I know, I was just looking at this.
Yeah, that phrase. So that is when you feel pressure to spend to prove that you are successful, when you worry that other people will judge you, or fear that you don't deserve it, or you feel obligated to share with everyone who asks.
All of this is guilt and shame.
Yeah.
This is what all of this is, and none of it's valid.
Or healthy or helpful.
Fear that you don't deserve it, that's a big one for me.
Yeah.
Of course, where others will judge you, feel pressure to spend, to prove success.
Yeah.
I've got all these. I work through this in therapy every week, but there's that fear that you don't deserve it. It's up there with imposter syndrome. But at the end of the day, did you do the work?
Yeah.
Did someone pay you for that work? Do you deserve it?
Yes.
Because the person that paid you thought it was worth that amount of money for you to do that thing for them. So that's earning it. You did it.
Yeah.
You deserve that.
Yeah.
And neither one of these extremes are good. This is a phrase I use all the time. The extremes are never good. Never say never, but I can't think of any situation where you don't want balance.
Yeah.
Right? You can't go scarcity mindset. We kind of inherited that a few generations down. I know, like, my great grandparents run a grocery store in the Depression, and they were the most frugal. Me mommy lived in a cinder block house that my great granddad built in 1950. And she passed away in that house in 2000. No insulation. It was cinder blocks. But they weren't hurting for money, because they had saved and saved and saved. And then their children got it. That extreme, it makes you very risk averse.
Yeah.
But if you have just an abundance, there'll always be resources, that makes you reckless.
Yeah.
So you've got to balance these two things out.
Financial calm comes from structure, not emotion. Like Kenneth was talking about, these were these are emotional things. They're tied to your emotions. So what you need is structure, right? And you have to realize that the reality is different for a business owner than someone who goes somewhere and gets a steady paycheck. Your income fluctuates month to month, usually, until you get very stable.
Right.
There's seasonal patterns, even if it's not based on, the summer, winter seasons. There are seasonal, like tax season or the Christmas season or whatever.
Right.
There are seasonal patterns in almost every industry.
Because almost everything is cyclical, and your industry will be whatever your customer or supplier base or whatever is going to run off those cycles. I mean, if you sell fruit, you're in a seasonal cycle. Everything's got some sort of, and it's going to run on some multiple of a year, every 2 years, every 5, 10, whatever it is.
And, money can disappear due to outside factors. And sometimes you can see them coming and sometimes you can't. It takes a lot of time to stabilize. We talked about 2 episodes ago about, false starts and how to deal with that. And then, there has to be some cash reserve for growth and taxes. So lots of different, things that factor in.
I mean, the amount of people that have come to us and they haven't paid taxes on their business ever. And you're like, well, there's not enough money left.
Yeah.
And it's like, then something's not right. Your pricing's not right. Your spending's not right. Something's not right here because, you can't not pay your taxes.
Right.
And I mean, but we've had a lot of clients that come in that are 5, 6, 7, 8 years behind on their business taxes. And I'm like,
yeah, because they put it off 1 year because they're like, next year I'll make enough money.
Yep.
Well, it just keeps stacking up and stacking up.
And you're accruing interest and fees, and you're making it harder and harder because eventually the IRS is going to catch up with you, and then they're going to garnish, they're going to put levies on your bank account and garnish your wages, garnish your income, and put you on a payment plan, put liens on, your assets. You've got, that has to be built in to your pricing model. I mean, it. And it's actually one of the most predictable things you've got because you know what the tax rate is. So keep that percentage of, and you've got to build that in. You got to build in credit card fees. I mean, all these things you got to build in.
Yeah. So this means that your financial strategy needs to be fundamentally different from your employed friends or from your spouse if you're not together in the business, or from your old self, right?
Yeah.
Because emotional reactions come from uncertainty.
For sure.
So the solution is structure and clarity.
Yes.
Your old paycheck relied on static income.
Mm-hmm.
You knew what it was going to be. Your employer took your taxes out. You've got, like you just said, you have to build these in.
Right.
When you're going through. And Kenneth touched on it a little bit, but just a reminder, the information in this episode is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended as financial, investment, or mental health advice. Always consult qualified professionals for personalized guidance. So, next up, the danger of lifestyle inflation. Okay, so you've been sharing a vehicle and eating ramen noodles and stressing about every single expense, and then you get that first $30,000 check, or you sign a major contract, or you hit some greatest month ever. Okay, I'm rich now, right?
Right.
And it can be, there can be a lot of pressure to spend that money.
Yeah.
While you have it. And, you may want to buy a new car or go on a vacation, or even stuff that will help the business, like upgrade
hire
your office or hire or whatever. But it's really dangerous to just get that check and then spend it, right?
Yep. You should approach every purchase for your business as an investment and think, all right, how much is this going to, if I get an office, is this going to increase revenue in excess of the cost? If not, it's not a good investment. While revenues may go up, your expenses are going up more, so your profit's going down.
Yeah.
Or hiring this employee or whatever it is, it's an investment, and don't make bad investments.
Yeah. So one of the reasons this is dangerous is because one good month does not equal stable income. We talked about this before in the false start. And new clients and old clients can leave as quickly as they came in. So just because you got that $30,000 check doesn't mean that you should spend that. Make sure that job is completed.
Right.
Market conditions can shift. We saw that with COVID. Tons of businesses went out of business when that hit. And you need data over time to understand if this is actual sustainable income.
Yes.
Another thing is that fixed expenses can create pressure, right?
Right.
Because that car payment is now an obligation.
Yep.
That you have signed on for a long time.
Yep.
And this client may not be signed on for that same length of time. And it's a lot harder to reverse lifestyle inflation.
Oh,
right?
For sure.
You can cut back for a few months, but if you start spending more, it's a lot harder to come back down again.
Right.
High fixed costs can limit your flexibility, and along with that, it's hard to reverse it. Pressure to maintain that income level.
Or that
increases.
Perception of it.
Yes.
Income level.
And then again, businesses need cash for growth. Equipment and technology, marketing, business development, emergency funds, and tax obligations.
Yep.
My note says often larger than expected. And really, I want to say from every person that we always larger than expected.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you think you have a good idea, I feel like every client is like, that's more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. The big one that gets people on this, and we'll do a series on tax and bookkeeping and stuff like that later. But on the taxes, people don't realize that you're still obligated for that FICA, that Social Security, that Medicare, but you're obligated for double that amount, because a lot of people don't realize your employer pays half of your Social Security and half of your Medicare. But when you're self-employed, you're the employee and the employer, so you've got to pay 15 and some change % plus income tax, and that is not tax deductible expense. And of course, if you start drawing on Social Security later and you're still making money, they're going to tax your Social Security that they already taxed when you. Yeah. It's but you got sales tax.
That's why you definitely should talk to someone about tax planning.
Yeah, and talk to someone about tax planning in the fourth quarter for next year. Don't talk to them in the fourth quarter about this year.
Yeah, because it's too late.
There's no planning. Now it's a recovery.
Right.
The engines have stalled out and we're headed for the ground. I'm trying to pull up.
Yeah, absolutely. So the better approach for lifestyle is to maintain the new income level for 6 months before you commit. Or if you have a seasonal business, I say 2 cycles.
Right, and that can mean 2 years.
It is in the tax world anyway.
Yep.
There's April taxes and October taxes, and you may thrive in April or you may thrive in October, depending. but you need to go through twice. So if your best time is April, you got to go through 2 Aprils.
Yeah. I know some tax preparers that they work like 100-hour weeks for 3 months, like the first quarter, and they just take off the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, they make their year in those 3 months, and it's a horrible 3 months, but then they
have 9 months off.
Yeah, they have 9 months off.
Yeah, it's like reverse teaching.
Right, right.
So when you use the 6-month rule, it provides income stability. It allows you to understand seasonal patterns. You build up the cash reserves because you're not spending that money that is over. And it reduces anxiety about losing the new income level. It also protects you from clients leaving.
Right.
So, and that may not be because of you or your business, like we said with COVID. I mean, so many businesses lost people.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So if you are wanting to buy a Sleep Number bed, first off, I say not as good as it is cracked up to be. That was our first big purchase, was a Sleep Number bed, and we had it for less than a month, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then we were like, I hate this thing.
Yeah. It's no, couldn't do it.
Okay. So instead of buying that huge purchase, whatever it is, wait 6 months of consistent income, save cash specifically for that purchase, buy it outright without financing, unless there's a reason that you're trying to build some credit up, but talk to a professional before you do something like that.
Yeah, there's a time and place for loans and leasing, for sure. I mean,
it's probably not a Sleep Number bed.
It's probably not a Sleep Number bed. And so, I mean, we pay cash, but there's financing gets you things before you can afford them.
Yes.
Now, again, if you purchase two different types of things, you purchase assets and you purchase liabilities, and really the difference between the cycle of not building wealth is the purchase of liabilities. People buy things that they just take money. They don't ever return money. While wealth builders they only buy things that make more money, and that compounds over time. And that mindset switch is one of the most important you can make as a business owner. I don't buy things, I invest in things. And am I investing in a good investment or a bad investment?
All right, so some smart money moves when income improves. First, step one, the number one thing is to build your safety net. So you want 3 to 6 months of a personal emergency fund, 3 to 6 months expenses. That's your personal emergency in case something crazy happens, right?
Yep. It's a Dave Ramsey right there.
Yeah. 3 to 6 months of operating costs. That's your business emergency fund. And then estimate your quarterly taxes, save monthly or 25 to 35%.
Yeah, and you'll kind of, once you've been in business for a couple of years, you'll figure out what your tax rate is. The 25 to 35, that's a pretty good start. That's going to be net income, not revenue. I don't know, a lot of businesses that can just hold on to 35% of total revenue and still make a profit. But that's a good starting place if you don't know, and you'll start to figure out, oh, well, we got, a $30,000 refund, or I had a $30,000 tax bill, which way to adjust that and, by about how much.
Second part, pay off high interest debt. So that's your credit cards, your high interest loans. This will create some cash flow freedom, and it reduces financial stress significantly when you don't have that huge bill coming in. I've
heard people, they're like, well, I get the tax write off that interest. Yup. whatever your tax rate is. So if you paid $10,000 in interest and you have a 20% tax rate, you saved $2,000 on taxes, but you spent $10,000 at the bank to do it. That's an $8,000 loss. That is not good fiscal sense.
Yeah.
I have a relative that didn't pay off their house for that reason for a while until the math was presented, and then they just paid off their house.
Yeah. Yeah. Invest in business growth. So this is tools and systems that increase your efficiency, marketing that attracts a better class of clients or customers, education that expands your capabilities, or software training or support that frees up your time. So these are all investments.
Exactly.
They are going to help your business grow or help you do more business or give you more time to find more business.
Or make your business more efficient, therefore more profitable. But you can't know any of this if you're not tracking this information.
Yeah.
If you're not keeping up with your financials, if you're not seeing which marketing, tracking what the client pipeline looks like.
Yeah.
If you're getting 50 new clients a month and none of them are coming from a marketing stream, cut funding to that. It's not all you're going to do is save money. You're not going to lose any. Or if you're spending more than it's bringing in, that's a bad investment.
Yeah. So 4, increase personal salary gradually. Now I've seen this one. I'm making this much money, so I'm going to pay myself this much money. Yeah, but when you have to go back down, that's going to hurt a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot again because you're gonna get yourself into obligations, houses, cars, other things that you're gonna have to sustain that income.
Yep. So when you are advancing your salary, do it at 10%,
Right.
at a time instead of what you think you can afford. Wait 3 months
At least.
before you do another 10%, and just, keep doing that until it's an appropriate level.
Mm-hmm.
If there's more than that, that doesn't mean that you should just keep upping it until you're taking all the money out of your business.
Yeah, once you've got it at a comfortable level, buy time.
Yeah.
And I spend this money to hire someone that will take this work off of me, and I can spend more time with my family or on vacation or doing whatever I want.
Yeah.
And spending this money the way I want to spend it instead of spending 100 hours at the office. That's a lot better investment than getting you a high paycheck that you can't spend.
Yep, that's right. Plan meaningful rewards. So budget for celebration, choose experiences over stuff.
That's just good life advice.
Yeah, that's something we're learning. As Christmas is coming up. I'm thinking experiences over stuff. No one does anything with all this stuff.
I know.
It's just junk.
Yeah, we've gone crazy the last couple of years, and
now we have too much junk.
Yeah.
Keep rewards proportional to success. These are things that are going to help you in your life, in your business. If you have a small gain and you go on a huge vacation, it's not going to help train your brain. But if you have a big win and go on that vacation, you'll be trained to big gain, big reward.
Right.
So next up is healthy money management for your mental health. So this is the mental health series. So you knew we were coming here, right?
Right.
Okay. Separate your business and personal finances. We talked about this in episode 1.
Yeah, it's that fundamental.
This is the number one thing that you should do before you get started in your business, before you have your first client, is separate.
Yeah, you can, almost every bank has a base tier business checking that doesn't cost any, there's no monthly fee. There's, I don't know if the big banks like Wells and Chase still have those, but
they're not going to be that much.
They're not going to be that much. It'd be like $5 or $25 a month or something. And that's
it's
usually
worth it.
Yeah. But honestly, you can, there's always a stipulation there that if you do X, Y, or Z, you can, sign up for paperless statements and that we waive the fee or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And so you've got a free one. But this is
Crucial.
I mean, when we get if I'm doing, a financial cleanup and analysis, this is probably second to inventory on things I hate to deal with.
Why this matters. So clarity about a business's profitability. That $20 at the high end that you're paying for that account, I promise you, is going to be less than the time it's going to take for you to separate those out when you're trying to do your accounting.
Or the increased fee your accountant's going to charge you to untangle that web for you.
Yep. It makes for simpler tax prep. It's a much more professional appearance if you have to, give your account to somebody.
Apply for a loan.
It helps with legal protection. If you are an LLC, you can't have all of your personal expenses up in there.
No, that's called piercing the corporate veil, and we'll talk about that in a later episode as well.
And the mental separation. I have this much in my personal account. I have this much in my business account.
Because if they're mingled, it's all mingled and mentally mingled.
So a couple of ways to separate those out are to have a separate bank account, of course. Pay yourself a regular salary when possible. Now, I do want to say everything I listened to in the beginning talked about paying yourself a salary. If you cannot afford a salary, that's fine.
Right.
That is how startups start unless you have funding.
Right. We were a year and a half before we took a regular salary.
Yeah. It's okay. That's all right. But still keep your account separate and do an owner draw,
Right. Or set yourself up on a W-2.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and get those tax withholdings. That'll, unless you've got a C Corp, all your business income's going to flow to your personal tax return. So go ahead and have some of those withholdings coming out and just, again, talk to a tax planner because you can plan out what you need to pay. And
and it almost always saves you money if you will do this tax planning.
Yeah, the amount of times I've heard, well, no, I don't pay estimated quarterly taxes. I just pay it all at the end of the year. It's the same amount. I got to know it's not. You have interest that builds up. A quarter of that liability, you get 9 months of interest. Half of it's 6 months, 3/4 of it's at 3 months, and because they expect quarterly payments. Your payroll provider sends, I think it's $100,000 or 3 months, whichever happens first. That if you got $100,000, to send to the IRS, you have to send that money. The IRS and the federal government doesn't get one paycheck period a year. When taxes are due in April, that money's coming in all year.
Yeah. Transfer money officially. Don't spend money from your business debit card that's not for your business. Most have online checking, online transfer, and it's immediate.
Right, and then just write it down as an owner draw.
Yes.
And everything's recorded, and it's official, and it's separate.
Yeah, and keep meticulous records. We will have a episode eventually on more on this stuff in detail, but for now, just write everything down, and you can figure it out later. But trying to figure it out with nothing is going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, and if I'll do this later, you won't. That's what all of our cleanups really are, is people that were going to do it tomorrow until tomorrow came and someone needed those financials.
Okay. So step 2 after separating out your money is to create financial predictability. So we covered how to set value-based pricing in episode 13, Pricing Power. So this is how we're going to talk about tracking and structure. So you track your cash flow patterns. Some easy questions. When do clients typically pay? What are your seasonal high and lows? Which expenses are fixed versus variable? And what's your break-even number?
Yeah, and another one I would probably throw in here is what's your default rate? And that's used for calculating your allowance for bad debt, which is very important because you need to know what percentage of your receivables are not are going into default. They aren't getting paid. They're going to collections. They're just being written off, because that's an expense that you have to account for.
Next up is understanding patterns, because this allows you to plan for the slow periods, make informed decisions, reduces financial anxiety, and you can budget more accurately. You want to build recurring revenue streams. We talked about this in our pricing episodes, but that is something like retainer clients, subscription services, maintenance agreements, package deals, or passive income products. So if you can build something and get a recurring revenue stream versus project, that will help you out a lot. What that does is provide predictable income. It reduces your feast or famine stress, makes planning possible. I mean, you can't plan unless you know, right? And it increases your business's value. So that's very good. Plan for seasonal fluctuations. We've talked about this a bunch, I feel like, but I feel like it gets lost. I feel like people don't think about it. You want to save extra during your peak seasons, reduce expenses during slow seasons, and market ahead of typical slow times, and diversify to smooth out your income.
I think marketing typically takes, don't quote me on the statistic, but 90 to 120 days to really come.
Yeah.
So, for tax season, you start advertising for that in December to really, start getting those clients, or maybe even earlier, November, really, because you don't want people coming to you at deadline time.
Right.
A break-even analysis. This is one of the best tools that you need to do this. If you're not doing this, you don't understand your business. I know it sounds kind of grandiose, but it's it's a fact. If you don't know what you have to sell to break even, to maintain the business, and you've got your fixed cost. These are things that are consistent regardless of sales. Rent, that's the only one I can think of right now. There's a lot. Any subscriptions, your Microsoft Office or whatever. Then you've got variable costs. These are things that will fluctuate with sales. So if you've got, if you sell a widget but it's got this part, and the more of these widgets you sell, the more of these parts you have to buy. And so there's a formula you can use, and basically you can turn different knobs on the different products you sell, but you want to get to where it's zero, and you go, all right, we have to sell at least this, and then everything above that's profit.
So one of the biggest mistakes that business owners make is taxes, right?
Yes.
They spend all of their income, and then they have this tax bill, and then what? What do we do?
Because it's going to keep accruing interest.
Yeah. Yep. They put it on their credit cards, put it off, whatever. But if you can't afford to pay your tax bill right now, why do you think you can pay a bigger one next year?
Also, the IRS is going to charge you like 5%. If you put it on a credit card, they're going to charge you 25%. Don't do that.
So the solution here is to estimate your taxes, right? And what we said earlier is a good starting point is 25 to 35%. Save that percentage monthly, pay it quarterly, keep it in a separate account, and don't touch that money for other things. If you need a bigger marketing budget, you need to take it from a different area.
It needs to come from ops or more sales, not from your tax reserve.
So something else that can help you is to know your personal budget, right? And what do you actually need personally? Housing, utilities, insurance, food, transportation, debt, your basic stuff. Take all of that and add that up, and then add 20% for your savings and unexpected. Now, taxes was in that too, right? Okay.
Right.
And then this becomes your minimum salary goal.
Right. And then you need to run a break-even analysis with that salary coming out and then now you know what you got to do. Now figure out how to do that.
Yeah. All right. Step 4 is, once you've completed those 3 steps, is to reframe your money mindset, right? Instead of, I can't afford it, it's not a priority right now.
Yeah.
Instead of, money is the root of all evil, money is a tool that can do good.
Yep.
If you use it properly.
Yep.
A hammer's a tool too, but not when you bash someone's head in.
I was going to say when you try to use it as a screwdriver, but all right.
I don't deserve to charge more. Fair pricing benefits everyone. If your main thing is I can't charge more, please listen to the pricing episodes.
Yeah, because even your clients that are going to pay that more additional fee, they're getting more time because you are dropping off. You know, we talk about the doubling and half rule with your pricing.
Mm-hmm.
You double your prices and lose half your clients.
Yeah.
You're probably making more money and you're doing the same amount of, or half the work and making more money.
Yeah. Yep. So when you change your mindset about money, that directly impacts what you charge. You know, first of all, how you negotiate, your confidence with your clients, your willingness to invest in growth opportunities, and really your overall business success. Because if you're just holding on to, I can't spend anything because I don't have anything, you're not going to be investing in growth.
Yeah, you're going to be too risk adverse to make investments. There's risk tolerance is something that it's a skill of being able to stick one foot into the unknown pool.
Yeah.
You want to keep one foot on dry land though. You don't want to, cannonball in. You can, but I mean,
it works about 1% of 1% of the time.
Yeah, and those people are the Jack Russell Terriers of human beings. They're just leap before you look. But you have to, again, that's a balance. You can't just be like, can't spend money on anything because you will die. That's like, I can't buy food for me. That's money, and you can't spend everything either because you have to have structure.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about false start recovery. So most business owners will face at least one significant setback. I should have got the actual stats on that, but it's a large number of business owners. Something happens and it's a make or break. Most of the success stories that you hear about is we failed or we were going to fail but we kept going and then our break came.
Right.
Especially the ones that are talking about it. So if you've had a significant setback, it's okay. Let's work on it.
Right.
So some of those common causes are market timing, COVID, right? Insufficient market research. It's so important. It's important to know your market. Is your market your town?
Right.
Is it your state? Is it this country? Is it a small subset of a small community? Know your market, then do your market research.
Right.
Cash flow mismanagement, which we've talked about many times. Partnership or team conflicts, which is the second cause of businesses shutting down under cash flow. External economic factors and personal circumstances.
I think there's one more here too, and that is in the beginning you can be so focused on growth and just taking everything you can. If you're not deliberate about that and conscious about your time, you can bite off more than you can chew.
Yeah.
And then all your clients get frustrated, and then you can see a significant dip again.
Yeah.
So that's a real risk.
Yeah, we talked about that in the business cycle, right?
Right.
And we've talked about this false start a few times. Yeah, You are doing it. You are in the fun stage. You are so excited.
I got all this business now.
You're taking on every client, but then you have to do the work.
Yeah. And because you're taking on every client and you're not, go back to the last episode and look at those red flags.
Yeah.
You're going to get bad clients, and they're going to eat up your time and your resources and your emotional energy.
Yep.
And I mean, it's a true statement. Hurt people. And I can tell you that we've had some clients that have said some pretty mean things to my face, some pretty, vicious things.
And then have come back the next week.
Yeah.
And apologized.
Yeah. And
you can't unsay it.
Right. And I think I handled them well. I knew what was happening there, and I'm not going to snap back at a client like that unless it's, getting out of hand. But that's never happened. But I mean, it sucks to sit there and have someone,
take their personal life out on you.
Right, because it's not you're right in front of them.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And we deal in money.
That's what I was about to say. We, when you're dealing with people's money, it's probably for a lot of people, it's a more sensitive topic than their marriage or their kids. I mean, it's the most sensitive thing.
It's the number one cause for divorce.
Right. Above your marriage and your kids.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're dealing with people's money and things don't go the way they want to.
And you're there, it's you.
Right. And I don't have any influence over people's money. And that was a thing that some clients just couldn't understand.
Yeah.
It's like
your bookkeeper, accountant, tax person, they don't do anything with your business. They just tell you.
Right. I can maybe tell you some ways that you can probably cut costs and stuff like, I can give you some strategies, but I can give you ideas.
Yeah.
You have to pull the trigger. You have to make them actionable.
Yeah. Well, in consulting, it's different because we're being proactive. We're helping with strategy. It's different. But when we're doing bookkeeping, I just tell you what you already did.
Right.
I can't make money out of what is not here.
That's your finance guy. I used to say, if you want to know what the difference between accounting and finance is it's a relay race, and accounting is running to the past, and when you get to the present, they hand that baton off to the finance people.
Yeah.
And I don't deal with crystal balls and trying to predict the future, so that's a younger, crazier man's game. And I'll deal with balancing books and process consulting.
Yeah, telling you what has happened and giving you ideas for the future.
Yeah, or helping with frameworks, but I'm not trying to predict the future.
Predict markets. Okay, so if you find yourself in this false start time, there is a recovery framework, and I do want to say, if you are here and you need personalized help, give us a call. This is just general framework, right? So, number one, which is my number one on anything negative, pause.
Right.
Breathe. Assess. Figure things out. Do not just make a knee-jerk reaction decision. So stop throwing good money after bad. Just stop. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't put more money into it. But for now, stop and see what's going on.
Right.
Take care of the immediate financial obligations. Whatever you have to pay now, continue to pay. Get emotional support from an advisor or consultant or a mentor or whoever you can. And avoid major decisions while emotions are high. If you are crying or yelling or panicking, you need to do nothing.
Especially with your money.
Yes.
Money and relationships don't just...
Yeah.
When that's relationships with your family, with your clients, with your employees... there's the chances of you making a good decision here is almost zero.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, step 2. Analyze what happened. So I have these broken down in time frames. So that step 1, the pause and assess, is 1 to 2 weeks. Step 2 is analyze what happened. That's more in depth than just assessing the situation.
Right.
Assessing the situation, figure out what happened.
Yeah, there's triage and then there's diagnosis.
Yeah, and we're working on diagnosis. This is your 3 to 4 weeks. And depending on the setback, it could be much longer, much shorter,
Right.
If you need specifics, give us a call. So in this step 2, we're going to identify what went wrong. Was it my pricing? Was it my scope? Was it my timing? Was it another factor?
Was it my performance?
Mm-hmm.
Did I overpromise?
Yeah.
One thing I want to throw in here is you need to be prepared when you're doing this step to be self-critical, but you're going to have, this is again, a tightrope, right? You can go, narcissistic and, nothing is my fault. Or you can go neurotic and everything's my fault. Neither one of those are probably true.
What would you tell a friend, a good friend, someone that you feel you can tell the truth to?
Right. And that's a great way to look at that. Because we're usually give ourselves too much grace, or I think a lot more often, we're way too hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we'll set crazy expectations. I like what Jordan Peterson says about it. He goes, you're a bad employee and you're a worse boss.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, because you'll say, I'll get it done. I'm going to do all these things. And then you're a tyrant as a boss to yourself. And you're like, well, I'm going to get this done today and this done and this and this and this and this. And then when you fail as a bad employee, you become angry with yourself as a tyrannical boss. I mean, it's a cycle of, I mean, it sucks to have no boss and a crappy boss at the same time. I mean, that's why you left your job. I mean, it's not why you left your job, but I mean, that's one of the benefits of working for yourself is you don't have to have that bad boss. So don't be a bad boss to yourself.
Figure out what decisions contributed to the problems, what external factors played a role. Separate the controllable from the uncontrollable.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And what would you do differently knowing what you know now?
Right.
So that's, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That's step 2. That's analyzing what happened. Step 3 is evaluating your options. So in this is like your month 2. In the analyze, I mean, some of that's going to take a little bit longer than the others to really figure out and hone in. And if you don't have your systems and processes and financials in place,
that's probably the problem.
Probably, but you've got to get some of that before you can actually find out those answers.
You need accurate information to make good, sound decisions. And that's something we tell people when I look at financials and I never see a good chart of accounts. I never, ever, ever, ever see a good chart of accounts. I either see it's like is income and expenses and they got 2 accounts, or they have,
hundreds.
Yes. I remember the place we worked together. There was an account in the old chart of accounts that me and my boss at the time used to joke about. It was just called Check for Gary. And it was like someone didn't know what to do back in like 1997, because the last recon was 1994, and I was working there in 2022. But it was just someone it's a check for Gary. So, and they made an entire account for Gary.
All right. So step 3, evaluate your options. This is in month 2. Can your current business model be salvaged? So are there a few minor things that need to be changed, or do you need to start over? Is it a pivot or a major change? Should you return to employment temporarily or downsize? And if those are the case, is it the right time to start over? So these are hard.
Yeah, I was like, these are hard questions to be honest with yourself about.
Yeah. But, sometimes this false start is just what happens right before everything takes off.
Right.
And sometimes this false start, it's showing you that this is not going to work. So you just have to be honest. Can I keep going? Or is this a pivot? Is this a change? Is this the death rattle and I need to revamp, revisit, start over, whatever it is the
Right.
case. So it just depends on your situation. And if you find that this was not right and your business did not make it, that's okay. You have a better chance next time.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So once you've decided, what to do, then step 4 is your make a decision and a plan. So choose your path based on data. Look at the numbers, look at the situation, not how is this going to make me feel should not be in this.
No.
If you need to pivot or change or start a new business, that's okay. And that can be part of your emotion thing. But if you need to stop and like go back to work, it can't be emotional because you're just going to keep throwing money at a problem that you can't solve.
Right.
So, what is a realistic timeline and budget for this? Do I need to go back to work immediately? Do I have a couple of months to finish up these projects and figure things out and then go back to work? Can I do both for a little bit?
Right.
Whatever your decision and plan is, find out what support you need. Do I need to hire a virtual assistant for 1 month to help me wrap some of this stuff up, or to help me get on a new path because you realize you can save this,
Right.
and set clear success and failure criteria. So if this, we're successful, keep going. If this, we failed, it's over. Not emotional, just data, right? Figure out what to do, make that decision and plan. And then step 5 is execute and monitor. So start small, test assumptions. It is not like, what's the Silicon Valley?
Break things.
Move fast and break things. Okay, don't move fast and break things. Just start
what
small.
happens if you put a bull rider in charge?
Yeah, start small, test assumptions. Monitor your progress against clear metrics, okay? Get your goals and look at them. Don't just say, well, I'll do it next month, and then you're like, well, it's been a year. Figure out what you're going to do. Get your goals and your metrics there and keep checking them. Adjust quickly if things aren't working and celebrate small wins along the way.
For sure. You got to pat yourself on the back every once in a while.
That's right. Whatever the case may be, you did it. You started a business. You ran a business. If you got to false start, there was a start.
Right.
I mean, you made it.
Right.
So you got to celebrate that.
This is financial CPR. This is cash flow, patience, and then a reality check.
Yes.
Thinking of money as time. This was, before we met, I just, got done paying off all my debt, and I was, I was counting pennies. I had money, but I had my change drawer accounted for in my
and
budget
your
app.
Credit cards. Debit.
Gift cards.
Yep.
Yeah. Had those all, and which was insane. That's over the top. Don't do that. You're just spinning your wheels. But one of the things that I used to think about, and I still do, probably not as often as I should, but it was, okay, I make X amount of money a year, and it's not how many hours I work, it's how many hours I'm alive. How many hours is in this year? So that's, this is going to cost me 2 hours of my life to do this.
Yeah.
Is this worth it? And that little adjustment in your perspective, because money, it's like, I can get more money. You can get more time, and you know that.
Yeah.
That will change the way you interact with everything.
Okay, guys. So our quick win for this episode is to calculate your personal monthly expense and work toward building a business salary that covers those basics plus 20% for savings and unexpected. And our reflection question is, what purchases or habits would I reconsider if I treated money as a tool for freedom, not proof of success? Ouch.
Ow, that hurt.
I'll say that one again. What purchases or habits would I reconsider if I treated money as a tool for freedom, not proof of success? Ooh, proof of success. That hits a nerve inside of me.
Yeah, because if going back just a few steps, you said define what failure and success look like.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to put success in terms of money, except when it's not defined, it will never be enough.
Yep.
And so you will feel like a failure.
Yeah.
If you're chasing an ambiguous goal, you can't reach a place you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, defining that, and also, you don't have to prove to anyone. The wealthiest people we work with wear Walgreens
Yes.
Wranglers, and they drive a 30-year-old vehicle that's taken care of, that you wouldn't know them. And
Yes.
I've seen bank balances. I'm like, this person could buy the town.
My cousin is very,
yep.
very, very successful. He's in the top billionaires in the country.
Yeah.
He's not like, we're not hanging out on his yacht or anything,
No.
But I didn't know until we got into this kind of stuff, and I Googled him.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it, and you can't tell.
No.
I've known him my whole entire life.
Yeah, if he's not in the boardroom, he just looks like just any other guy from small town Oklahoma.
Yes, he looks. You would not know.
Soft-spoken.
Yeah.
I mean, when we think billionaires, I think a lot of time we see Elon Musk or Donald Trump or something in my head, or in your head. But I mean, how many other billionaires can you name? There's
him.
Thousands.
Two. I know two.
Yeah.
And neither one of them look like anybody.
Yeah.
He's the older gentleman that held the door for you at the grocery store today.
Right.
Who drove off in a regular car.
Lincoln Town car, that 1997, but it's immaculate.
Yes.
And that person is setting on, $1 billion.
Yeah. So don't let anybody tell you what anything is.
Yeah. And when you see flashy like that, they're probably not.
Yeah.
They're
new money.
When I worked in the oil field, that was a thing that
I know what you're gonna say.
The cars.
Oh no.
Oh, it was. I mean, you would see. It's the Chevy Silverado 3500 dually with a B&W turnover hitch in the back and front and rear end replacements, and then they're living in a single bedroom apartment.
Yes.
But it's because oil boomed and they were making money, and they finance all this stuff, and then it drops out, and the vehicles you could buy off a repo lot in a bust.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say all hat, no cattle.
Oh.
Because that's what
Yeah.
This is like my second or third cousin, and all of the older generation, that's what they all say.
All hat, no cattle, like that.
Yep. And they are definitely judging you by your shoes.
Oh, for sure.
And not how fancy they are. They're how dirty they are.
Right.
All right. Well, there is a cash flow stability worksheet and personal budget reset template. So if you were listening to these episodes and you're like, that was too fast, or you just want to go through and see if you are in the right space for this, go onto the website, www.havensconsulting.com, and get that cash flow stability worksheet and personal budget reset.
All of these resources are free. You don't have to sign up for anything. You don't have to put your email in.
If you want a downloadable version, you put your email in, but it just sends it to your email. Like we don't have a newsletter. We don't spam you. So, it's totally free. We're not going to market to you
we're here. We
Just
we
wanna-
truly want to help.
Yeah,
And
help you learn what we had to learn the hard way over years.
Yeah, and a centralized place for this information.
Yep. So, at Havens Business Services, we see how financial stress affects every decision a business owner makes. By building predictable systems and healthy money habits, you gain back mental bandwidth to lead and live well. We've helped numerous clients recover from setbacks by providing objective analysis and strategic planning during emotional times. Sometimes an outside perspective helps identify opportunities that aren't visible from inside the problem. Financial stress is one of the biggest challenges entrepreneurs face, but it's manageable with the right systems and mindset. Remember that building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. Resist the temptation to spend everything the moment money comes in.
Yep.
So, our core takeaway from today is that financial peace is not about being rich, it's about being in control. If you got value today, you can help us by subscribing so you never miss an episode, sharing this with another business owner or anyone who had any money, has any money, might have money someday,
Yeah.
is thinking about money.
Your kids.
Yes, or leaving a quick review, but only if you liked it. It helps us to reach more business owners just like you. We'd also love to connect with you. Find us on social media at Havens Business Services or at From Launch to Legacy. Drop us a question, tell us what you're working on, send a win, or just say hi. Until then, keep leaning in, keep learning, keep building the business and life you've always dreamed of. We're honored to be part of your journey from launch to legacy. Bye.